In this video, I'm going to make it so that you can draw your weapon from a holster. So we have our NPC there, and he's doing it. That's pretty easy. I started out on him, but we want players to be able to draw. Here's my player. Sweet. There we go. Let's do it again. Brah! And it works, right? It's a simple pistol. The pistol doesn't really matter that much. You just got to find one that kind of fits the holster. Boom, see, it works and everything. Let's go ahead and get started on our draw. I have an empty base plate right here, and before we get started, let's get two resources from Roblox. So I'm going to go over to my web browser. I'll put the link in the description to this Glock 17 holster. It's just parts. There are no scripts in there. I did not build it. I just uploaded it to my account. And then you could do get model and then get that in your inventory. And then also the simple pistol. I did this in a video a while ago. I'll put the link in the description. Just give you a pistol to work with, but you can use other handguns for this or other weapons that you can holster. All right, and then this will say get model. If you don't have it, you press it, and then you'll have it in your inventory. So we come over here to Roblox. What does it mean to have it in your inventory? We'll go to the toolbox. I already did a search on simple. This is the one that I had the link in the description for. Click that. Two scripts. We're going to modify one. Hit OK. And we don't need it in the starter pack. No. And then we're going to get rid of this simple. And here's my Glock 17 holster. We're going to pull that in there too. Cool, we're going to need both of these. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to save off my game in case anything weird happens. We just had a Roblox update. I never know what's going to happen when we have an update. All right, so I want to put my pistol right here in that holster. So I'm going to get rid of whatever's in here. Let's go ahead and click on that. Glock 17 holster, presumably a Glock. We'll get rid of the Glock 17. There's a lot of parts in there. I don't feel like welding them together. They're not put together. Cool. Now I have an empty holster. Let's rotate this gun, this pistol. There we go. 180. We'll rotate it again this way. How's that? And I'm going to do a Control L so we can have our movement global to the workspace or in reference to the workspace. I'm going to have to modify my angle a little bit. Rotate, model. Instead of 15 degrees, let's take it down to 1. Cool. And there we go. It's too big, right? I got to make it smaller. I'm going to move both of my pistol and my holster up a bit. Where's the holster? There we go. Cool. Oh, you know what? We got to line them up this way. No, that's looking good. That's looking good. I think we'll be all right. Let's just go ahead and shrink this down. Let's shrink our gun down. Click on the gun. Scale. Maybe a little this way. I think that'll work. How's it look this way? I think it's close enough. You can play with it, right? But this is a video, so we got to be a little bit quick. On that Glock, though, I'm going to get this loop and I'm going to put it back here. I don't know why, but I just feel like it should be in the right spot. So we just want to hit the right mesh part. There we go. Not that one. That one. Move it up. Then I'll rotate it. Maybe move it down a little bit or over a little bit. Cool. Oh, you know what? I can make that a little smaller. Just a little bit. We got to get our stud unchecked. Now we're talking. All right. Now I'm noticing these mesh parts right here are not put together with anything, right? So we got to fix that. Let's go to our holster. And then on the first mesh part, hit the plus, hit a W, weld constraint, click weld constraint, part 0, hit your part, part 1, hit the one below it. Cool. I'm going to go to this mesh part, the second one down. I know I clicked that kind of quick. I'm going to get a weld constraint on this second mesh part, part 0, the mesh part where my weld constraint is. part 1, the next mesh part. I'm going to click that third mesh part, hit the plus. You see where it's going, right? Get a weld constraint on there. Part 0, mesh part 1. Let's bring it all the way up to the top. Cool. Another thing we have to do, get that mesh part, get the second one, get them all together. Here we go. 1, control click, check to make sure they are not anchored. Oh, and they are. That would make us go right in the ground. Unanchor. All right. Let's save this off now. Move on to our next step. In order to wear this, we need to make it an accessory. So I'm going to go up to the workspace up here, hit the plus, hit an A, hit accessory. That's going to add an accessory to the workspace. I'm going to call that accessory holster. All right, now we need to move our parts inside the accessory. So I'm going to go down here to where it says Glock 17 holster, inside the model holster. I'm going to get these mesh parts, select all 3. I'm going to drag them right on into my accessory I just created. Nice. Also, what are we going to do with that pistol in there? Well, I only need the mesh part of the pistol for appearances, but I don't want to ruin my pistol. So collisions are off. With the pistol selected, I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate it because I resized it and I don't want to mess up the pistol itself. All right, so we got 2 copies. Let's go to the one that is in the holster. Open this up. We're going to grab the pistol mesh part, drag it inside the accessory. There we go. It's down here. And then before I forget where this thing is, right, let's delete it. Right, this is the one that's in the holster itself. Cool. We still have this other one over here. That's perfect. Good. Now this pistol has to be welded to the other mesh parts. Let's go ahead and hit the plus sign. W, weld constraint, and I'll click the weld constraint on the pistol. Part 0 will be the mesh part, the pistol mesh part. Part 1, you could hit any of these. I'll just pick this one right here. Cool. Now we got to put it on a rig to make sure it fits right. So I'm going to go to my avatar tab. I'm going to go to Rig Builder, R15, Mesh Avatar 2012. Nice. And we're going to have to get an attachment. I think I'm going to use something from the lower torso. But in my accessory, I'm going to need a handle, right? So what should we make the handle? Let's click some of these. Maybe not that. Maybe not that. Oh, that looks good. That looks like it's going to go right on a belt, right? Let's go ahead and change that name to handle. It's got to be spelt like that too, capital H. And then on the handle, we're going to add an attachment. There we go. A, attachment. Cool. Now we need to name this attachment to something that's on our rig so it knows where to go when we put it on the rig. Open up your rig. There it is. Go down here to lower torso. Begins with an L, right? There it is, lower torso. Open that. And I think I'm going to use waist center attachments right in the middle of them. So we probably won't use that attachment for other things. I'll copy that name so that I don't get it wrong. Let's go over to our accessory. There it is, holster. Where's our handle? Let's open up handle. Get that attachment and then do a Control V to paste that name in there so you get it right. Cool. And then I'm going to close this. I'm going to close my holster so I have a little bit more. I can see stuff a little better. I need to drag this holster down into my rig. Boom. Oh, and it's gone. Where'd it go? That's all right. It's in the middle of the rig. Let's go to our upper torso and just make that invisible while we're working on it. So upper torso, set the transparency to 0 or to 1. Sorry, 0 is opaque, 1 is transparent. And now you can see the gun. Sweet. So we'll adjust this accessories position in place while it's on our rig. So we have our rig, there's our holster. Let's open that up. Let's grab the handle, open that up. We're going to look at the waist center attachment. And we'll go ahead and get this rotate. And I'm going to go the opposite direction because we're adjusting the attachment, not the actual piece that we see. There we go. All right, now I'm going to get the move. I got to push in the opposite direction again. I'm going to bring it up. That's probably a little too far, right? And let's go over this way. I'm going to pull on it, pulling to the right. It's not bad. I like it. All right, now we need to make our rig so that it looks normal. Let's go back to upper torso. I almost went by it. We're going to go to transparency. We'll make that 0. Now it's normal again. Let's write the code that gives the players the gun in the holster when they enter the game. So I need to go up here at the top, and inside the rig, we have the holster. I'm going to copy that. Leave it there. Just copy it. We're going to use it for our animation. Copy. I'm going to go down to replicated storage. And I'm going to paste into. And this will work for server storage too, but I just picked replicated storage. And now I need that pistol that's floating around. That one right there. It's working, right? It works. It's got all the parts. So I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go back down to replicated storage. And I'm going to paste that in. Paste into. Now we're going to go to server script service. Open that up. And I'm going to add a script. And I am going to call this game manager because I'm going to use the player added event. So game mgr. And I'll make that a little bigger so you can see it. Add some code. We'll say local. Let's get the player service, right? Game get service players. And let's get replicated storage. Game get service replicated storage. Then we'll get our holster accessory. I'll call it holster ACC because we're going to have a lot of holsters, so we don't want to get too confused. Replicated storage, wait for child, and we just called the accessory holster. That's fine. All right, what else do we need? Oh, we need our pistol too, right? Let's just call it a gun. It's easier to spell. Replicated storage, wait for child. It's called pistol and replicated storage. This has to be spelled right. It has to match replicated storage. This can be whatever you want, right? That's your variable. All right, now let's get the player service and we'll capture the player added event, connect it to an anonymous function, player get passed in, and then the player is going to fire off a character appearance loaded event that happens after character added. So we'll do a connect function char. Then we're going to clone the holster. Holster ACC clone. Be very clear about what it is. There we go. And what else are we going to do? Ooh, we got to get the humanoid. Humanoid is on the character. So we'll do a character char, right? A char got passed in right there, right there. And we'll get the humanoid here. Humanoid. Now let's use the humanoid to add the accessory. So hum colon add accessory. And that's going to be the holster accessory clone. Then let's get our gun too. We're going to clone that. So I'll call this gun clone. We'll get our gun from up top. Clone it. And then I'm going to put it in the backpack. So I'll say gun clone dot parent equals player dot backpack. All right, let's try it out. Let's go ahead and hit play. See what we got. So when our player enters the game, they should have the holster and the pistol. So he's got the holster. It's not looking too bad, right? And now when we hit the pistol in the backpack, it's in his hand. But we still have to make this disappear. We still have to have a draw animation and then a reholster animation. And when we hit this button, we don't want the tool to disappear right away. We want it to disappear when he slides it into the holster. So watch this. See how it disappeared right up here? We're going to have to change that too. Let's start working on our animations now. I'll turn the player off, and now let's go ahead and make some animations for our draw. We're going to need our rig. Let's go to our avatar tab, animation editor, click the rig, and then let's create the draw animation first. Hit create button, go to these three dots over here, set animation priority, action, and hit the three dots again. We'll save it off. It saves it to the rig. Now we're going to need some keyframes on our arm. I have my rotate set to snap at 15 degrees. So I want the keyframes to be in this natural position. Let's push on the upper arm, the right upper arm a little bit, and you'll see a keyframe appears. Lower arm, I'm going to push on it. If it moves, that's fine. Just move it back. You're still going to get your keyframe. If we go to the hand, boom, another keyframe. Nice. All right, let's go out to our sixth frame. Hit the upper arm. I'm going to reach back like I'm going to draw. I think I'll go to 75 degrees. Get the lower arm. And 90 degrees. That should work. Yeah. And then just go ahead and move it in. I think I'll go 2. Get that hand. That's not bad. And you can play with this more, right? It's just that it's a video, so I can't really mess around with it too much. I think I might push this forward, see what I got though. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, all right. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. That's as good as it's going to get. I'm going to keep messing with it, aren't I? All right, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to move forward. All right, so I'm going to get these keyframes right here. I'm going to copy it, copy selected, and then maybe go out to like the 9th frame, and then I'm going to paste. It's going to take a little bit. If we go ahead and play that, yeah, it's going to take him a second, and then he's going to draw. All right, now the thing is, we are going to put the gun in the hand almost immediately because we're going to hit that equip button. We're going to hit the backpack button, the default one. We can't control when the gun goes in his hand, but we can control when we see it, and I am going to control that with an event. Should we put it here? Let's put it here. Let's do add animation event, and when we hit that keyframe, an event's going to fire, and then we're going to be able to make the gun transfer to his hand or appear to transfer. Right? Draw event. Nice. And we can move it. Once we click on it, just go ahead and I think I might move it right there, right? His hand's got to get there. We'll make the transfer, and then we'll pull forward. And you can play around with where you want it, right? I'm just clicking and dragging. All right, so when we get out to here, the one thing is, when we end this keyframe, the arm might be far back enough where it goes forward. I don't think it is, but it could be. So I'm just going to put another set of keyframes here that gets closer to holding the gun, so Roblox doesn't get creative, right? Maybe move that over, maybe move that up. That's the lower arm. Get the hand, maybe straighten that out a little bit. There, that should work, right? So then when we play it, and remember, he does have a gun, so as soon as the animation stops, the tool animation is going to take over, and the gun's going to be extended. Nice. Let's hit these three dots. Let's hit save. Three dots again. We're going to set. Let's see. We did that. Check set animation priority action. Publish to Roblox. There we go. Popped up. It's going to be called draw. That's fine. Submit. Get that ID. Copy the ID. We're going to close the window. Let's scroll on down to where the gun is. That's in replicated storage. Go ahead and open replicated storage. Under the pistol, I'm going to put the animations in the pistol. Pistol plus, hit an A, animation, And it's down here. Before we lose our ID, let's go ahead and paste it. Paste. Hit enter. And then I'm going to call this animation draw. Sweet. All right, let's go back to our animation editor. We are going to need a holster animation. I'm not going to do anything tricky. What I'm going to do is save this off again. Hit the 3 dots a second time. Do a save as new. There we go. And then we're going to call this holster. Cool. The animation priority should be set. Everything else. We're going to grab these keyframes. I'm going to take it to the top one. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to drag it out here. This is the arm in the relaxed position. See? And then I am going to reverse everything, right? We only have to reverse that one. And we go ahead and play it. Yeah. Puts the gun back. Right? So it's in the extended position. It's going to hit this first keyframe right here. Boom. Second one. Boom. This one, let's change the name of the event. I'm just going to delete this. Delete selected. Go ahead and right click wherever you feel you should have it. There we go. Set animation event here. And we'll call this holster event. So that will fire. That will fire when we get to this keyframe right in between these two keyframes, right? And we don't have a parameter going in. Let's play it one more time. Yeah. It's going to be a little farther. It's going to start from the whole tool animation and then go in. I think that's going to be good though. Let's save it. Let's go down to check our set animation priority, publish to Roblox, holster, submit, grab the ID, close. And then here's our pistol, animation. We'll call this holster. Animation ID, Control V. All right, we got our 2 animations. Let's save our game off so we don't lose our progress. So now let's get those animations running. We want to be in the pistol, right? The pistol and replicated storage. And I'm going to go to the shoot. I want to be on the client side, and then I'll have to fire event to the server side to make the gun appear and disappear. That's unrelated to the backpack. So we're going to go to the shoot under the pistol in replicated storage. I'm going to do something that I don't typically like to do on tools. I like to do character initializations and getting the humanoid in the on equipped. But we have a speed constraint here because we have to beat out the tool equip animation, right? So I'm going to get the draw anim up here. We do have a variable for the gun. We'll do a wait for child. The draw is on the gun. That's the draw animation. We're going to get the holster anim, gun. Oops, gun. Oh my gosh. I made it such an easy word and I keep messing it up. We'll do holster. And let's get the char. All right, so we're going to get the player. Ooh, we're going to have to make sure we have the player up here. That won't be too bad, right? We can get the local player. I normally do that right here. Let's just grab this. Control C. Game players, local player. And you know what? We might as well do the mouse there too, right? So when we have the player, we can get the mouse. Player : get mouse. We can get rid of these down here in the on equip. All right, we're going to make this streamline so you can equip it very quickly and play the animations. So now for our character, we do have access to the character. We'll try and get the character. But that could be waiting, right? We could be waiting to add the character. So we'll do a character added : wait. Remember, you'll get an infinite yield error, though, if the character never appears. All right, now we're going to get our humanoid, local, hum. We'll get that from the char. Wait for child, humanoid. Let's grab the animator from the humanoid, local, animator equals hum, wait for child, animator. And we'll get the draw track by loading the animation in the animator. So draw track equals animator colon load animation. And we'll do the draw animation. And then we're going to do another one for the holster track. Right? So we've got our draw track. This will be the holster track. Cool. I just copied that line if you didn't notice. And that one will be holster anim. Cool. All right. We should go ahead and try this out soon. Let's go ahead and play it though when we do our on equip, right? So we do on equip, and then we're going to do the draw track play, right? Hopefully beating out our tool equip animation. All right. Then down here, holster track play. We're getting closer. Oh, and we don't want these two to be nil anymore. Let's go ahead and delete those. So we'll just have the holster track play and then the disconnect of the unactivated in our unequip. Let's go ahead and play. And here we go. All right, let's take a look at our output. And if you'll notice, we have these core script errors. Let me make that a little bit bigger. That is from a Roblox update. I love it when they do it on my video days. So we're not really concerned with those, right? That's from the last update. Let's delete them. I'll just clean them up so it doesn't interfere with our stuff. We'll hit our pistol. And if you'll notice, when we do our draw, oh, and there's no errors. And when we do our holster, watch this gun. It disappears immediately. We have to change that. When we do the draw, you can see it kind of flip up a little bit. It's competing with the tool animation. But I believe when we make the gun invisible, it's not going to be as much of an issue. Yeah, we don't get it every time. It's just a little bit of a flip. But we're going to make the gun invisible until the hand gets here, and then it's going to draw out. I think that will solve that problem. And then we're going to actually fix the problem where this disappears too quickly. All right, so I turned the player off, and now I'm going to go back to my Explorer under replicated storage. I'm going to look at the holster. So I don't have much in here. I'm going to add a script. I'm going to hit plus, and this is going to be a server script, right? And I'm going to have this, how about something like draw assist or something? How about draw script is fine. All right, so we got to make that gun, this part right here, disappear at the appropriate time in the holster, and then the other gun that we have in our hand appear at the appropriate time. So get rid of this print statement in my draw script. I might as well select it so you can see it. There we go. And we'll do local holster. Well, this is just script.parent. And then we also have the gun, right? We'll call that the pistol. This is just the decorative pistol in the holster, right? So we'll say holster dot, here it is, pistol, lowercase p. I'm going to need an event or a remote event. So I'll call that draw RE. Where should we put it? I'm going to put it in the holster. Let's just come over here. Here's our holster. Hit the plus, hit an R. Remote event. Let's call this draw RE. We're going to capture the shoot script event. All right, now what do? We'll get the holster here, and then we'll do a wait for child, draw RE. We will get replicated storage. Do we need replicated storage? Yes, we do. But I'm going to show you why in a minute. I'm not going to do anything with it right this second. All right, so we'll say replicated storage. And then let's go down here. We'll get our draw RE on server event, connect. We're going to get the function. The player is going to come over because it's coming from a client. We're going to get an action, right? Whether it's a draw, a holster, and then I'm also going to do something for the disappearing gun act. And then we get the length of the animation. That's for the disappearing gun act too. And then we're going to get the gun itself, right? That's the part that we can see that's in our hand. That's the weapon. So I call this pistol. That's the part that we don't use. It's just in the holster. The gun is going to be passed over from the chute, so we can make that visible and invisible when we want. So if the action is going to be draw, we'll send that over on a draw. Then the gun in our hand, we will make that pistol part, oh, it's a lowercase p, pistol transparency 0. So we're going to make it visible when this is called, which means it's going to be invisible for a while. And then we'll say pistol, this is the part in our holster, that transparency is going to be 1. So the 1's going to disappear in our holster and appear in our hand. All right, what else we're going to do? Well, we have to get ready for the holster event, right? So we'll pass in a holster when we're holstering. Holster. And we're going to do pretty much the same thing. Let's copy these. Control C, Control V. But we're going to reverse the order. 1, 0. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's good. Let's just do that for now. And then we're going to have one other event. And that is when we put the gun down, we're going to clone an artificial gun exactly in place. It's going to look great. Unlike that little flip thing in the beginning, I don't like that, but it takes a lot of work to remove it. But I think you're gonna be happy with the reduction in visual of the visual trigger / draw competition. So this one's going to be a clone. We're going to clone a part, but we're not going to do that right this second. So we have this stuff right here. We got to call it from the chute, which is in our gun. Chute. Let's go to our holster track, or our draw track and our holster track. We want to add some code that captures those events in our animations. So let's do the draw track. I'll do it right under where we define our draw. We got our draw track, get, oh, it doesn't help us, marker reached signal, right? And then we called it draw event. We will connect this to an anonymous function, and we're going to need the holster. We don't have a variable for that, so it's going to be red for a second, but I'm going to fix that. That's the holster accessory. Let's just call it holster accessory so we don't forget. And in there, there's a draw RE that we just created, and now we're going to fire server. The player will automatically be passed as the first parameter. This is our action, the draw. The length of the animation, we don't care right now for this. And the gun itself, which is that gun right there. So let's get rid of this error. I'm going to go right above, perhaps the draw track, just to kind of keep things together. We're going to get our holster accessory, and that will be in our char because we cloned it here. Now, I know that some of you experienced programmers are like, man, he's not doing any error checking. Nope. That's because we have a time constraint, right? So you might want to make this code a little more robust for your game, but this will get you up and running. If you do everything right, you're not going to have a problem. All right, so this holster right here is this holster that's in replicated storage at the moment, but we clone them to the character. Look at that. In the character, we're going to wait for child, holster accessories here. This is going to fire fine. We're going to have to do the same thing for the holster track. I'm just going to copy that and then Control V. I'm going to do a Control C for holster track. Boom. This is holster event. Now, these are spelled wrong. They won't work. So you just have to be wary of that. This is going to be holster. And we're still going to use the draw RE. That should be fine. Now remember we had that clone condition, right? So here's the draw, here's the holster, and I mean over in the over in the draw script in the holster, we got one more thing we can catch. That's the unequip, right? So unequip, we can do that even before we play. Let's clone the gun, right? Holster accessory. The action is going to be clone. We are going to need the holster track length. I'm going to say holster track dot length. We're not going to need the gun. You could send the gun, but we're not going to need the gun. Right? We're just going to use those two. Let's just go over to our draw script, which is in the holster, right? So we were in the shoot script. Let's go to the draw script. Let's put a few printouts here just so we know they're happening. Right? Good check. Play. Draw event. Yeah, we just copy that. Control C. Go here. Holster event. And then down here, this is the clone event. All right, let's play it. Let's play it and see if we have our outputs. Let's go to our view output. Get rid of the Roblox errors. Pull this out. Oh yeah, looking good. Yep, draw event. Yep, there's a draw event. And then we should get clone first and then holster. Yeah. It's looking good. Now we have one more finishing touch. When you go to put the gun away, you don't want it to disappear as soon as you hit the unequip. We want to override that. It's hard to do. So this is what this gun's floating around here for. We're going to duplicate that. Let's duplicate this. Control D, right? And then let's just drag it out a little bit. This is going to become an accessory because that does not fire off the tool animation. So go to workspace, A, accessory. This is going to be, how about pistol? We could call it pistol lookalike. How about pistol ACC for accessory? I put a little slash in there. Let me get rid of that. Boom. All right. It doesn't matter which one we get. I am only going to get this pistol part right here. I'm going to drag it into the accessory. Cool. And then I'm going to get rid of this broken pistol because I drug the mesh part, right? So I don't need that part. And then I'm going to get rid of the gunshot. I don't need that. The pistol itself is going to be a handle. Cool. And then we're going to get an attachment. The attachment, what are we going to call that? Let's look at a rig. I know I should have looked that up first. So it's a right hand. Right hand. And now we're going to get right grip attachment. Control C. We're going to move that up here. And call the pistol handles attachment right grip attachment. All right, it's going to be a little bit funny. Let's try it out on the rig. So we've got a rig over here. We're going to get a regular pistol. We're going to drag it into the rig. See how that looks. All right, that looks pretty good. That's how it's going to look when we go to do a draw. Then we're going to get our pistol accessory. We're going to drag it into the rig. Bummer. Doesn't quite look the same, but you can see that it's going to be pretty easy to fix, right? So I believe this part should go up here. Let's go ahead and rotate it. We don't want the whole model. We want to rotate the grip attachment. All right, so we're going to go opposite direction again, right? That's kind of a bummer. I'm going to get rid of that window. Get a little more space. I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 45. Control Z. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, come on. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down here in orientation. I'm going to make that -90. Sweet, Should have started with that, right? Should have led with that. All right, now I want to go upward. I want to make it look exactly the same. And you can sit here and play with this as much as you want, but I am going to have to call it quits at some point or you're going to get bored. Oh, look at that. That's perfect. Sweet. Oh no, that's this guy. Yes, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, let's get our pistol accessory. We don't need him in the rig anymore. We're going to drag it down to replicated storage. Where is it? Replicated storage. Cool. I think this is the longest video I've ever done. There we go. The maze was 37 minutes. All right, let's get going now. I want to finish it off. All right, so we got that. We have our pistol. I just need to get in the holster. Change this draw script a little bit. We're going to need that accessory, right? So we have our replicated storage. I'm going to say local pistol ACC replicated storage. Wait for child. Pistol ACC, and then we're going to make a pistol clone. I'm not going to make it here, but I am going to declare the variable pistol ACC clone. Just make that nil for now. We get down in here. If you will recall, when we unequip, we have this clone event. We know it's firing. This is where we're going to get our pistol accessory clone. Create that with our pistol accessory clone, and then we need to get the char, right? Player dot character or player dot character added weight, and move that there. Then we're going to get the humanoid from the character, right? Char wait for child humanoid, and then we get the humanoid add accessory, right? And then we're going to get our pistol accessory clone. So we just hit the unequip, the gun disappears, but the hand's still up. The animation kicks in. Oh, we're going to have a clone right there. You're not even going to see the transition. And then we are going to wait the length of the animation track. And then the pistol clone will be destroyed. However, when we are holstering, we want to make it invisible once we get to the holster itself, right? So here we can delete that print statement. The gun becomes transparent when we get to the holster itself. That's that event where we're right at the belt, right? The pistol transparency, that is the pistol inside the holster, the decorative one. It looks like you're carrying it around. That becomes opaque. We also want, and we're going to check if the pistol accessory clone is still exists right here. We are going to make that clone handle transparency 1. So we want to make that invisible too for the rest of the ride down. All right. And remember our pistol here in replicated storage, we may as well start this out as invisible. So I'm going to go to the pistol. That's the mesh part that we see. I'm going to go down to transparency. I'm going to make that a 1 because we're going to make it visible again when we draw right there. All right, let's try it out. Here we go. And there's my pistol. Oh, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, I like it. Making that stay visible after you hit the equip button. That was pretty good. That was hard, of course. And then make sure your pistol still works, right? We're going to have to go down here, go to the output window. Yep, those are the core scripts. That's fine. Let's go ahead and clean those up. Boom, it still works. Pretty cool. And holster.